presentation of Fox Sports.
Tonight in the Bay Area, two of the hottest teams in the Pac-12 hookup. USC's interim coach Bob Cantu has led the Trojans to 4 straight wins, while Cal is tuning up by winning 4 of their last 5. It's the Trojans and the Bears now.
March Madness is only a few weeks away, but from the fans' perspective, it's already here. The Cal Bears are getting hot at the right time. Conference scoring leader Alan Crabb has emerged as the leading candidate for Pac-12 Player of the Year. Under the veteran leadership of USC's Gio Fontaine, the visiting Trojans feel they're poised to make a stretch run of it. USC and Cal. Which team can make the late season adjustments? A critical Pac-12 matchup now.
To Berkeley and Haas Pavilion for Pac-12 hoops. Tonight, it's a big game for the University of Southern California Trojans and the California Golden Bears. Both teams must have a dynamic finish to have a chance at postseason. Both tied for 5th at 7-5 in the wild Pac-12. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. This is former Wooden Award winner Marcus Johnson. And what a log jam we have for you in the Pac-12. 3 games separate the top 7 teams in the conference, but we might have the 2 hottest teams playing tonight in Berkeley.
I love it, Steve. Both teams playing at the top of their game. For Cal, they have won 4 out of 5. USC 4 in a row. So I think we're in for a very exciting basketball game.
How about the Trojans? Bob Cantu takes over from Kevin O'Neill. They're 5-3, and they seem to be playing with a looseness about them.
They get any looser, I got to put them into one of those coming home to Jamaica commercials. Free at last, free at last. They can too. I'm free at last. This team is playing free and easy, pushing the ball up the floor, looking to get in transition, looking to shoot the open shot when it's there. No more milking the shot clock down to the last 5 seconds. They're putting points on the board, averaging over 70 points a game in Pac-12 play, and JT Terrell has been one of the guys who has benefited most.
We will see the conference's leading scorer in Alan Crabb averaging almost 20 points per game, and California really works hard to get him open.
Yeah, they do a great job, and you got to credit Alan Crabb also because moving without the basketball is his forte. He does a tremendous job of that, and he's a lot better at putting the ball on the floor and attacking the basket. That was one of the weaknesses of his game the past couple of years. He's improved on that. You take a look at him with the basketball, going to give it up. It's all about perpetual motion, keeping your defender guessing what you're going to do, and they love to run him off of ball screens. When you got a great shooter, you've got to emancipate him and then read and react. You see the 3 defenders, they don't clog the lane. He puts it on the deck. And one thing he does a lot better, Steve, he finishes with the offhand. He's worked on that move, attacking the big guy and making the play.
We have a terrific one in Berkeley, California. 2 teams at 7-5 in the thick of the Pac-12 race. USC and California. It's coming your way next. Pac-12 basketball is presented by MFS Investment Management, innovative solutions for investors and their professional advisors, and by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. Welcome back to Berkeley, California for USC and Cal. Let's check out the Kumo Tire starting lineup for the visiting Trojans. They'll go with a 3-guard lineup that will have Gio Fontaine in the starting lineup. He kind of damaged his left knee in Thursday's win, but he will get the start. Wesley Dedman, awfully important role players, and USC interim coach is Bob Cantu, who replaced Kevin O'Neill on January 14th and has won 5 of 8 since taking over the Kumo Tires Cal lineup. We'll see. Well, the Bears got great games from Kravish and Solomon and beating UCLA, combining for 35 points and 31 rebounds. Crabb, Wallace, and Cobbs, excellent from outside and inside. The Cal coach, Mike Montgomery, is 8th among active winning coaches in the NCAA with 650 victories. How about our key matchup, Marcus?
Gio Fontana a little banged up. He's got the bruised knee, but he's done a terrific job of running the offense. They've got to keep him out of the paint. And then Justin Cobbs also has come alive, Steve, his offense. He's found the jump shot, and it makes him so much more of a threat in terms of running Cal's offense.
USC on the road wearing the black uniforms with the cardinal and gold trim. They've won 4 straight. California with the white uniforms and the blue and gold. The Bears with a sensational first half and blitzing UCLA on Thursday. They led by 25 points at the half.
Did a great job of preventing UCLA from getting out in transition. And that's something they worked on for the Oregon game they played a couple of weeks ago. And it served them well. It should serve them well tonight because USC likes to get out and go.
We have a problem with the clock. That's why the delay in the start. And we'll take a look at this series history. California barely leads at 131 to 121. This is the 153rd overall meeting. Their last, it went the Bears' way in Los Angeles on January 5th, 72 to 64. And that was a game where, once again, the Cal Bigs played very, very well. And they absolutely dominated UCLA on Thursday.
Well, when the Cal Bigs play well, they usually win. We're talking Kravish and Solomon, especially Solomon, when he brings the energy and the intensity that we saw against UCLA with the shooting of Crabb, the ball handling and playmaking of Cobbs, they become a tough team to beat.
Solomon wins the tap. He may have had his best game on Thursday with 17 points, hitting 8 of 10 from the floor. Crabb goes corner to Cobbs, and he will be defended early by Byron Wesley. We thought Wesley would start on Alan Crabb. Byron Wallace, the talented freshman from Bakersfield, California. Solomon knocks down his first shot. We told you he hit 8 of his 10 shots against UCLA.
And he's not the conventional big guy who post-ups and looks for jump hooks and drop step moves inside. He loves the fadeaway jumper, normally on the right shoulder.
Terrell misses his first shot. And there's David Kravish, an excellent rebounder. He had 13 in the win over the Bruins. Crabb, his first 3 attempt is short and tries to get his own rebound. Then that possession, we did see Wesley move over and defend Allen.
It'll be Byron Wesley. I mean, there's a little cross match on the first possession, but he is a guy that's going to try and play Crabb physically. You can see the body. He's got the body for it. He's just strong upper body, terrific sophomore. Started every game since he's been at USC.
And one of the best jobs this year that I've seen was by a bigger defender, Spencer Dinwiddie of Colorado. Closed out Crabb completely in the first half, and there is a kicking violation. Ball goes out of bounds.
Well, that's been the approach to Alan Crabb by defenses, just to bump him, bang him, play him physically. But to his credit, Steve, he's learned how to play through that. He doesn't get as flustered, doesn't get as frustrated, and I think it's made him a tougher basketball player.
Dinwiddie is a 6'6", and so is Byron Wesley, who misses his first shot. Rebounding is Gio Fontana. You can see a left knee brace that he's wearing. He's worn that all year long because of an injury he suffered a year and a half ago in a summer tour in Brazil. Wesley knocks it down, and I thought he was hammered, but no foul call.
I guess the officials say the principle of verticality and the fact Richard Solomon goes straight up, hands extended above his head. Was a lot of contact. No call.
3 very strong officials tonight in Kevin Grill, Darren White, and Brett Nansel. This is Fontana, middle of the floor.
There's one thing for Kravish and Solomon to get off against UCLA, a team that's not that strong in terms of interior defense. With Dedmon on the inside, they're strong.
How about Dedmon's passing lately?
You know, coming in as a freshman out of Antelope Valley, he never played high school basketball. Everybody's talking about, making the jump to the NBA, and he's an NBA body, but it's taken him time to learn how to play.
Last year with a right hand and right foot injury. Wallace had a complete game in their victory over UCLA. Did a little bit of everything. Passing, scoring, rebounding, stealing the ball. Kravish misses his first shot. And Denman runs it down in the corner. Bob Cantu, the interim coach, shouts out the instructions to Gio Fontan, who is defended by Justin Cobbs. Terrell knocks down this shot.
And that's a shot that J.T. Terrell would have been reluctant to take under Kevin O'Neal. He has the freedom to take that as long as he gives an honest effort at the defensive end, and he's actually played better defensively for the Trojans.
Crab well defended by Wesley, so it's Wallace out top with the three missing. And Dedmon loses it out of bounds. Tried to throw it off Travis, but he may have stepped on the end line and turns it back over to the Trojans.
Talking about an honest effort defensively, that was a nice job by J.T. Terrell of closing out and contesting the shot by Tyrone Wallace. That's the reason why Wallace missed. Good job by Terrell not giving up on the play.
Cal has made one of their first 4 shots, while USC has made 3 of their first 5.
Talk about how much better SC's playing since Kevin O'Neal's been replaced. But make no mistake, Kevin O'Neal has put the defensive mentality into these Trojans.
Wallace got bumped, and a foul will be called. Like it goes against Byron Wesley, and this is a very important guy because neither one of these teams are really that deep, Marcus.
Yeah, and with Ari Stewart, the reserve forward for the Trojans, going out with a broken left thumb a couple of weeks ago, a few games ago, that depletes their depth even more.
Cobbs is the point guard. He's averaging 14.5 points per game and 4 assists per game. This time Solomon has it blocked beautifully, and Wesley comes up with a basketball between the legs of a Cal Bear, and Terrell answers with a 3.
He was so loose. I mean, he knows every lyric to every rap song ever made. He's out there quoting every lyric of every rap song they play on the loudspeaker, going through his warm-up, but he was extremely loose, free and easy, just playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Was that a test that Bob Cantu gave him to loosen him up?
I don't think Bob Cantu knows the lyrics of that many rap song.
How about inside Richard Solomon?
Maybe a little Vanilla Ice or something. But yeah, nice job, Solomon, working the interior. And when you get him to play with some passion, some intensity, he's a totally different ball player than what we have seen at times this season.
The Cal defense early has done a good job keeping Fontan out of the paint. Eric Wise misses his first shot. Cobbs drives and scores!
That's for my daddy. His daddy, Greg Cobbs, longtime women's coach in high school from Los Angeles, in the stands. He told me to make sure and give him a shout out on the broadcast.
You have delivered. Here is Fontan, long with the 3. Wallace picks it up. Fontan almost picked up the personal foul, but backed off at the last minute. That's a power move by Justin, and quite frankly, that foul could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Dwayne Dedmon, he's a 7-footer out of Lancaster, California. His defense comes alive with a block of Solomon, and then J.T. Terrell for 3. Cal Straw Hat Band leading things off here in Berkeley, and they enjoyed the last meeting January 5th at the Galen Center when Cal won the game as Chas Bryant got inside for the score. But Cal answered with a 9-2 run, highlighted by a pair of 3-pointers from Tyrone Wallace, the freshman. Cobbs had 4 free throws to put the game out of reach, and the dunk by Alan Crabb in the final minute was the exclamation point as Cal won 72-64. And there is Allen. He is a 6'6" junior from L.A. Price. He's all-conference last year, and despite the last 3 weeks of the season, he suffered an ab strain last year, which really held him back, and still he made all-conference.
Put in the work with Mark Grabo of the Golden State Warriors, formerly their strength and conditioning player development guy, and he's really helped him and Justin Cobb develop their skills as basketball players.
Robert Thurman in the game, big number 34. He goes 6'10", 265 out of Edwards Air Force Base. That's where he was born. Hobbs looking low to Kravish, well defended by Eric Wise, and this is Crab giving it back. Just 8 seconds left in the shot clock. Cobb should have shot it. They've got to take a chance from the corner, and Crab doesn't hit iron, but he's fouled with 1 second left on the shot clock. And Wesley's got to go, oh, man, what am I doing?
And that's what Bob Cantu is doing over there, too. Oh, my. But he's directing his ire at the officials. The second foul on Byron Wesley. Shot clock winding down. You just want a strong contest. There's the reach in, and with the reach in, he's got some skin under his fingernails. You know he's guilty.
Such an important player. He is one of their best perimeter defenders, and at 6'6", he matched up so well with Alan Crabb. He will stay on the floor for a moment, and then they will get Terrell back in the game for Byron. Terrell has been playing very well, averaging 4.2 points more per game under Bob Cantu than under Kevin O'Neal.
We'll see how USC matches up. They have put Gio Fontaine. He did a great job, Fontaine, on C.J. Wilcox, the outstanding scorer from the Washington Huskies. And a guy about the same size as Crab, but Fontaine in that game just face guarded Wilcox and didn't allow him to touch the basketball.
Gio Fontaine, the point guard. Now they're working with a big man inside. And Omar Arabi, the 7'2", 270-pounder from Cairo, Egypt.
Good hedge by David Kravish on the ball screen to make Fontaine flare out toward midcourt. Good job, David Kravish, on the pack of Eric Wise.
Cobbs with the pull-up. Thurman tried to answer, and Kravish picked up everybody.
Thurman, the setup guy, shaking things up, shaking things loose on the inside, attacking the offensive glass. Kravish with the opportunity put back off the play.
Cal on a 7-0 run since USC ran off 9 in a row. Alan Crabb with the rebound. A smaller defender now on Allen.
A tough matchup right now on Alan Crabb. Brendan Taylor, the younger brother of Bryce Taylor, former Oregon standout, son of Brian Taylor, former NBA star, but he's just a freshman, Steve, out of Fairfax High School, to come in and stop one of the hottest players currently in the Pac-12, Alan Crabb.
Richard Solomon will come back in the game. Along with him for USC will be Aaron Fuller, and they'll also bring in Chaz Bryant, who can spell Gio Fontaine at point. And he's another young player who is a walk-on who will get quality minutes early on the road. They fumble it around inside, and they're tied up. The possession arrow still says it belongs to USC. This is a critical time in this game. California now has taken the lead. Wesley is out of the game, and so is Fontaine.
Yeah, and who defends? I know this is USC's offensive execution that's at stake on this possession, but you still got to wonder who's going to defend Alan Crabb with this lineup on the floor. You asked JT Terrell to kind of change his personality from offense to defensive stopper. Aaron Fuller, I'm not sure if he has the mobility to run through the plethora of screens that he would see.
USC has gone almost 4 minutes without a score. Terrell on the drive and pull up. Gets it back. No foul call.
Contact on the play, but Terrell still maybe better served to pull that one back out. They're going to leave Taylor on Crabb.
How about Richard Solomon, a 6'10" guy going outside and knock it down for a Cal 12-0 run.
Nice draw and kick, offensive move by Alan Crabb. Found his high school teammate, Michael Lynch, Price High School, Los Angeles, California.
And Alan Crabb has been more of a distributor early, Marcus.
And that's nice because, you know, the SC does a great job of kind of plugging, tagging off, making sure that there's no driving lane available for Crabb. He does what he's supposed to do, finds Richard Solomon as the trailer. And again, the strength of Richard Solomon's game, he's 6'10", 6'11", but the big guy can fill it up.
He has played well the last couple of weeks. It's the race of a lifetime, fans, with the ultimate Daytona 500 experience. Tickets are on sale now at Daytona500.com.
Richard Solomon coming off a 17.8 rebound game against UCLA, where he was 8 for 10 from the field, and a lot of those were that, maybe not that distance, but 10 to 12 mid-range jumpers, most of them back to the basket. So he's even more comfortable shooting a jump shot than he is making a post-up move.
He also had 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, and held Travis Ware to just 7 points. We again have a problem with the scoreboard clock down at USC's end of the floor. And now they've shut it off. Well, they're going to have to do it on both ends then. The old-fashioned way, where they just put it in the corner and have your teammates shout out how much time is left.
Well, hopefully they do have that contingency plan as they try and then work out the kinks of the clock.
You know, this has to be tough for Bob Cantu. You're going up against one of the best coaches in the history of this conference, Mike Montgomery, who was a star at Stanford. And he's a guy who has led his teams to the postseason 22 times, won 5 conference titles, made it to the Final Four. And here's Bob Cantu, an interim coach who has been an assistant for 5 coaches at USC, if you include Rick Majerus for his short tenure, about 4 or 5 days.
The late, great Rick Majerus. But Bob Cantu came in during the Henry Bibby years to run Henry Bibby's camp. And then he was recommended for a job opening that it wasn't even a coaching job. It was like an administrative assistant that Cantu kind of balked at. But Henry Bibby's like, hey, you know, just get your foot in the door. You never know what's going to happen. Here we are 12 years later. He is running the USC Trojan basketball program.
And USC has won 4 in a row, including overtime at Pauley versus UCLA, beating Washington by 11. And because of that, their RPI has shot up as well. They also had that big road win at Stanford. That helped. So they've gone from the mid-80s to the mid-50s in the RPI.
I had them early against San Diego State. Just an outstanding basketball team coached by Steve Fisher. They wound up losing that by 6. They kind of fell apart at the end of that game, got a flagrant foul on Omar Robbie. But when I saw them then, I thought they had a chance to be one of the top 5 teams in this conference, just based on the talent, the size, the point guards, the scoring from Eric Wise and the wings. Aaron Fuller was an honorable mention, all Big Ten performer back at Iowa before he transferred. 10 points, 8 rebounds a game.
They are trying to get this clock situation figured out. But when you come to Haas Pavilion, you're going to see all kinds of tension and all kinds of excitement. We'll be right back. California red hot before the delay. They have a 14-9 lead over USC. And we were talking about how they moved up in the RPI rankings recently. Back on January 31st versus Oregon State, they were as low as 83rd, but they've been moving up by knocking off teams like number 10 Oregon by 4, number 7 Arizona by 8, UCLA by 13. Meantime, USC, their RPI is 105.
They're like the Jeffersons. They just keep moving on up. and their remaining schedule, I mean, Oregon ranked number 23. They can improve the RPI with that. Colorado also a strong RPI team nationally. They beat them at home. They could continue to improve their RPI with that. So they put themselves in a great position after a real suspect start in Pac-12 play to be a viable NCAA tournament team.
Eric Wise with the dribble. Good California defense. They played both zone and man in this first half. Chaz Bryan trying to go low. It's fumbled around, and Dedman might have to take it on his own. This is J.T. Terrell. Long. USC is 0 for their last 6. Solomon is fouled, and he'll be at the free throw line.
A couple of great things happen on that play. Richard Solomon just streaking up the center of the floor, showing his speed as a big guy, outrunning the SC transition defenders, and then Tyrone Wallace, the freshman out of Bakersfield, who Mike Montgomery thinks one day may be able to play some point guard. Not a full-time point guard, but play some point guard for his Cal Bears. Shows his ability to kind of see the floor and keep his head up and watch things develop.
You know, a lot of times freshmen are a little selfish because they're used to scoring. He averaged 22 points per game at Bakersfield High School, and Tyrone on Thursday, 7 points, 6 assists, only 1 turnover, Marcus, 4 blocks, 3 steals in their victory over the Bruins.
A stat filler, and he's been placed in the starting lineup and really responded, and I like the potential that he has. We talked about it the last time these two teams met. A couple of killer threes against USC at the Galen Center.
Cal on a 13-0 run the last 4.5 minutes, and USC cannot dent that tough defense. Graham flips it to the Terminator.
Give me that.
And he gets Thurman right back.
Terminated. He gets terminated by Dwayne Dedman. But here's to Lancaster, Antelope Valley areas, the high deserts of Los Angeles. Nice job by Dedman. That's just the long arm of the law reaching in and blocking the shot by Robert Thurman.
Well, USC knew they would be in for a test in the first half because they saw the video of Thursday's St. Valentine's Day Massacre when Cal shot 59% and held UCLA to only 30% and led by 25 against a very good Bruins team.
It just took Shabazz Muhammad, the outstanding freshman who dropped 25 on Stanford yesterday in the Bruins comeback win. It just completely took him out of the game, took him out of transition. UCLA turned them into a half-court team.
USC with their first points in more than 5 minutes. Wallace now running the point.
Ronaldo Woolridge. This is an interesting matchup. I keep saying it because it is. First you put the freshman on Allen Crabbe. Now you put a 6'9" transfer from Tennessee, son of Orlando Woolridge, on Allen Crabbe.
I've really been impressed the way Cal's defense has found the shooters. Woolridge misses badly and loses the ball out of bounds, but they say last touch by Solomon.
USC not getting very good shots. That time it was Woolridge, a contested off-balance jump shot. We've seen JT Terrell take a couple of those. And a lot of it has to do with Gio Fontaine. He is the guy that, with his penetration, causes the defense to react, and he's so good at setting up his teammates.
He tried the alley-oop to Dedman, who somehow caught the basketball and stayed in bounds. Wise gets it, and Eric can't finish. Now does.
Every team needs an Eric Wise. Just a transfer from UC Irvine, double-double guy there, but just a beast inside who has improved his ability to play on the perimeter. He's extended his game.
Bob Cantu is praising his basketball IQ, but when your father was Francois Wise, who played at Long Beach State, and your uncle was Willie Wise, who was a great ABA star,
yeah, Willie Wise.
Cousin was Jaha Wilson, you're probably going to know how to play the game.
It's in the DNA. It's in the genes. But, so far I like the move of Bob Cantu. He's put Woolridge with his size and quickness and mobility on Allen Crabbe, and he's actually done a solid job defensively. I kind of questioned that in my mind because I hadn't seen Woolridge play defense.
Terrell with a nice move, angling that left baseline, tying the game at 15. He now has 7 to lead his team. Wise has 6. 6-0 mini run for USC. There's a steal by Fontaine. He's got Terrell right side, but Gio's taking it himself, and Kravish with a great block. Terrell, he hits.
JT. But Allen Crabbe has got to know better than that. He saved the ball at the opponent's end of the floor without having a plan. Just kind of threw it in blindly, put him in a bad way, but give JT Terrell all the credit in the world. He is a shooter with no conscience. I ain't gonna say no confidence, no conscience.
You know, when there was that delay because of the clock situation, it clearly favored USC. They have been on a nice run where Cantu had a chance to talk to his fellas, and they have straightened things out.
Yet another turnover. Richard Solomon.
Terrell? Oh, that would have been for 4.
All right, let's not get ridiculous out here. And he points to himself and says, my fault. But hey, you know, it goes without saying. But thanks for letting us know anyway. That was about a 38-footer. That's not.
Dedmon has a chance for the old-fashioned 3.
Dedmon. Nice job spinning off the contact. A little bit of fade for separation. And a nice little sleecher off the glass.
They're playing with freedom under Bob Cantu. USC leads California by 5, 20-15. Bob Cantu replaced Kevin O'Neill on January 14th, and Kevin gave them great direction, particularly defensively. But this is what has happened statistically, and look at the offensive numbers go up.
Well, and that's the big key of this team, the way they're scoring the basketball right now. The three-point field goal attempts, they're playing free and loose in terms of letting it fly, catching it high, and letting it fly. As my old coach Lee Hunt used to say at UCLA. But make no mistake, the defensive mindset that Kevin O'Neill has cultivated the past 2 or 3 years with this group of guys, that's still there, even though they run a bunch of defensive approaches philosophically. But now you get the freedom offensively to express yourself, and that with these guys even makes them play a little bit harder defensively than they have. JT Terrell in particular.
Let's see if Cal can answer. Tyrone Wallace missing the 3, and there's Eric Wise sealing off the rebounders for Cal and taking it himself.
Nice job slipping by Dedmon. Tough angle on the pass from Fontaine that he didn't make.
Wallace and Cobbs in the backcourt, and they're using Crabbe to run around some screens, and Cobbs with a nice pull-up off the right side. And Mike Montgomery insists the team is better when Cobbs is shooting more.
Yeah, he's got to be aggressive. You cannot allow the last time that Crabbe curled, G.L. Fontaine was right there to thwart that chance was because Cobbs' lack of aggressiveness shooting the basketball.
Somehow Dedmon got the ball to knock in off the glass, and USC pushes their lead back to 6.
But Steve, I really like this move. I mean, I never would have thought in a million years that Ronaldo Woolridge would see extensive time defending Allen Crabbe. But you look at his body type, the length that he has, it's a perfect scenario. You just never thought that the coach would go to it.
He's got the ball now at 6'9", the senior. Almost got it to fall from the corner is JT, but misses, and very quickly back comes Cal.
That's a two-man fast break run by Woolridge and Terrell. They weren't waiting for any rebounding balance from their teammates.
Allen Crabbe long with a 3 attempt.
That's the size of Woolridge contesting, bothering the shot at 6'9".
Dedmon lost it, picking it off Solomon. That was USC's very first turnover, and we played almost 15 minutes.
You want to win on the road. It's one of the things you have to do. Try and keep those turnovers to 10 or less. Gives you that many more possessions. Gives you an excellent chance to pull off the upset.
Woolridge gets it corner. Fontaine will shoot and score. First 2 for Gio Fontaine, who's coming off that strong game against Stanford when he had 15 points with 5 assists. There's a timeout called by California, and Mike Montgomery's a little bit perturbed with the way his team is playing after USC is off to a 16-2 run.
I think he was a little upset at Justin Cobbs' defensive effort on Gio Fontaine that last possession.
And the Trojans now have an 8-point lead with 5 minutes and 24 seconds left. USC, they beat Stanford on Thursday 65-64. The Trojans led by 12 at the half, and then they saw Stanford get right back in it in a hurry. Well, how about JT Terrell, the young man who scored 26 points in his college debut at Wake Forest, and he's looking sharp early.
And he is a scorer. And just a guy who can take it to the basket and finish. Outstanding athleticism. Not bashful about any shot. I like to say, he's talking about guys who never bet a shot they didn't like. He doesn't meet shots. He knows them on a first-name basis.
You got that right. Well, he started at Wake Forest, then transferred to a junior college, Peninsula JC, one of the top players in the JC ranks, averaging over 24 points per game.
And Bob Cantu, who recruited him, was effusive in his praise of Terrell as a junior college player. It's like, wait till you see him, Marcus. He can shoot it like no other.
Alan Crabb knocks down a three.
Except maybe Alan Crabb. In terms of just tremendous range on his jump shot. And it's almost like he's gotten a second win at this stage of the season. I think he was doing so much early on, he kind of hit a bit of a wall.
It's a blocking foul called against Cal. Likely against Brandon Smith.
You talk about extended range. There's Alan Crabb. That's about 3 feet behind an NBA three-point line if there were one. So whenever he's across the midcourt line, you know, within 30 feet of the basket, he is a threat to put it up and a threat to knock it down.
Still just a junior and 12th all-time in California scoring history, over 1,400 points. He now has 193 threes. Throws it away. Ahead to Cobb. Travis with a great finish.
That's just staying with the play. Nice job, Krabish. Out of Missouri, just running the floor and finishing up the miss by Cobb.
And that's a blocking foul on Robert Thurman.
That's a smart play by Gio Fontaine. You know Thurman's going to jump out and hedge the ball screen. So what does Fontaine do? You know, he's a Bobby Hurley senior player out of St. Anthony's in New Jersey. He goes right at the body of Thurman. Then watch, relaxing job. Oh, ref, look, ref, look, there's contact. Whistle blown.
The Oscars are next Sunday night.
Sell it. Nominations for Best Supporting Actor.
Thurman picks up his first personal foul. USC leads by 3, and Brandon Smith now defending Gio Fontaine.
That's a nice move, man.
They count the basket.
It's the NBA version of continuation. Mike Montgomery looking for a traveling call, but I thought a great job spinning off a contact and finishing by Gio Fontaine.
Splendid move as he broke free from Smith's grab and tossed it in. USC by 5. Here in Berkeley, the Bears trail by 5, and it's time for a game break, Marcus.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's go to Utah, Salt Lake City, Arizona at Utah. And it's the Mark Lyons show, Steve, right there. Nice little backhanded reverse flip. Here, going to take it in transition, draw the contact, finish off the play, and one from Mark Lyons. Penetration down. Here he is again. Mark Lyons penetrating, getting to the rack. Mark Lyons, 18 points. The Wildcats win it 68-64.
And there's a look at the Pac-12 standings. Oregon with an amazing comeback at Washington State, down 18 points, sent it to overtime, win the game. They are now 10-3 with a game lead on Arizona and UCLA. Arizona State's right in there. I was really surprised the way they play with such poise in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, and nice job by Evan Gordon to finish off the play. A little bit of a fortunate bounce for him, but again, a young team, young freshman point guard, and Jahi Carson did a great job of leading that team to victory.
Fontaine now with 5 points, Marcus.
Talking about Washington State, you know, if it was for bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all. They haven't been able to close the deal, but have been close so many times. I feel for Ken Bone at times because they played well.
Royce Woolridge had quite a game with 36 points, and they still lose the game. He hit about every shot he took.
Yeah, he did. The game that Brock Modem was hampered because of the elbow from Tony Woods. But here again, Brendan Taylor playing defense against Alan Crabb, and not a whole lot of contact there. The reach is probably what did him in. More of a case of Alan Crabb losing his footing. Nice switch. Anytime the guards come together between Taylor and Terrell and Crabb, you can switch out on that.
Nice little floater by Tyrone Wallace. Touched the USC lead to 4.
Well, you see the USC approach defensively. The Crabb, they feel, is not going to beat them. They're going to switch out on him, switch out and deny, play him aggressively, and force someone else from Cal to have to make some offensive plays.
Cal back in the man defense. Cobbs on Fontaine. Travish, he's really been a force early in this game. That was his 4th rebound. He also has 3 blocks.
And did something you don't see a lot of players his size have the ability to do, that quick second bounce. First bounce tipped it, second bounce win in security.
Taylor picks up his 2nd personal foul in the last 30 seconds, so he will sit down, and Ronaldo Woolridge will come back in.
2 things you got to do to be a great rebounder: rebound out of your area, go and chase the basketball, but also that second, third, that quick bounce. Play on a trampoline on the floor.
There is Ronaldo, senior from Sherman Oaks. Played at Tennessee. Now he's back in defending Alan Crabb. Wallace will drive and have it kick free, and that's a beautiful play by Dwayne Dedman, who stepped in defensively.
Dedman has been a real force. Clog in the middle. Nice.
Oh, how about that pass by Eric Wise?
That's a great job, Eric Wise. Just dropping it off, drew a couple of defenders, and give Dedman a lot of credit after the great defensive play. He ran the floor offensively.
I love the defensive intensity both teams are playing with.
Well, that time, they did a nice job forcing Alan Crabb down. Away from the middle, there's Dwayne Dedman and JT Terrell. And then nice job, Dedman running the floor. Eric Wise just setting him up.
Terrell defended by the freshman Wallace. Fontaine with the pull-up. He hits.
He's back. He's got the bruised knee, and it's on that bad left leg where he had the ACL injury and missed all of last season. But over these last 8 to 10 ball games, he is really moving well, shooting the basketball. Stepping on a dime.
Will go against Gio Fontaine, and he picks up his first personal. The only 2 Trojans that are in foul trouble, Byron Wesley with 2 and Brendan Taylor with 2. Smith has 2 for California.
And I think that's something that Mike Montgomery, the coach of Cal, needs to look to do, or even Justin Cobbs taking the initiative on his own. That's going at Gio Fontaine. Everybody's read about the injured leg and the bruised knee and how he's, sat out of practice. And he talked about Fontaine benefiting from an additional day off to give that knee some rest. Go at him. Make him play some defense. Make him move laterally in particular.
I watched practice yesterday, and he wasn't involved that much. They were trying to give it as much time to recover.
He is a guy, again, St. Anthony's played for Bobby Hurley Sr., so he's a tough-minded kid who will go at you defensively. He will get in foul trouble.
Mike Montgomery with the 2 officials trying to get it right, and they'll be giving the ball to California. So no debate from Mike.
Let's take a look at it.
Well, good call.
And that's where there was an old call back in the old days, the force out, where there's contact, where you don't have to call a foul, but you can get it back to the offensive player.
That's the 8th turnover for Cal in this first half. And USC has outscored the Bears 14-2 on those turnovers.
Again, one of the keys to winning on the road defensively. You got to defend without fouling. You got to take a team out of its comfort zone. So far, USC has done a nice job of doing that.
Mike was shouting to Justin, get back. We're now in a zone.
They play a 1-2-2. Use Crab at the top with his length. He's able to contest shots by the smaller guards.
Wise gets his own miss and then loses the ball off his foot out of bounds. Fans, stay with us because coming up at halftime, we'll take you to a big game in the Big Ten Conference and also a preview of next week's action on Pac-12 hoops.
We're talking about success on the road, being able to take out the opponent's best player, which Bob Cantu has been masterful of doing with a variety of different defenders guarding Alan Crabb. Right now, it's Ronaldo Woolridge, but they're looking to switch at every opportunity.
Cobbs misses, but Crabb picks him up. Someone forgot where 23 was.
And Crabb, in his exuberance, makes the mental mistake of slapping the ball out of bounds after the made put-back jam. Alan Crabb, 10 rebounds a game in high school. Right there, slap it. Delay of game warning. You get another one of those. It's a technical foul, 2 free throws. But that's kind of the level of frustration because of USC's tough defense against them that he's seen in this game.
These two teams tied for 5th place in the Pac-12 Conference at 7-5.
It's been an intense basketball game. You can tell how both teams are really feeling their oats right now. Want to use this game to propel their momentum into a whole nother stratosphere.
Trojans going for the last shot of the first half. Well, a little earlier than I thought, and now it's Cal with a chance. Wallace gets it ahead to Cobbs, and he cannot get it to go. So we will head to the break with USC owning the lead. And our first half stars, the leading scorers, J.T. Terrell with 10 points on 4 of 10 shooting from the floor. Richard Solomon for Cal with 7 points. But don't forget that Alan Crabb, the leading scorer in the conference, has 9. Solomon also with 4 rebounds. So it's USC with our halftime lead. We want you to stay tuned now for the halftime show from here at Haas Pavilion, coming up right after these messages.
You see a place that's alive with purpose and passion. You see a place inspired by a long tradition of untraditional excellence. You see a place built by the people, for the people of California, the nation, and the world. What do you see? You see Berkeley.
Pac-12 college hoops. Cal's All-American Alan Crabb has been sharp in the first half, but they need more because his Bears trail by 4. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak along with Marcus Johnson. They worked hard to get Crabb open, but a lot of times USC's defense was so aware of him, they got right in his face.
Yeah, they made it awful tough on Alan Crabb, and that's what you want to do on the road. You want to take the opposition's best player out of the game, but he's still Alan Crabb. He's still a devastating outside jump shooter who you cannot give any space whatsoever because he will burn you. He's done a good job of that. The nice finish on the inside. But for USC, Double D, Dwayne Dedman, just a force on the inside, had a couple of block shots, and then when he gets it going offensively, he can make these types of difficult spin moves on the inside, and one of the best runners in terms of big people in this conference.
USC playing with a lot more freedom. They have only committed 4 turnovers in the first half. Because of that, they have outscored Cal 60-4 in the turnovers.
Yeah, did a nice job of that. But one thing to remember about this Cal team, and Alan Crabb in particular, he's a big-time second-half basketball player. 19 second-half points against USC January 5th down in Los Angeles. So you've got to continue to have Crabb awareness.
What adjustments do you see Mike Montgomery making for the second half?
I think we could see a little bit more zone. That way you keep Gio Fontaine out of the lane. I think they played okay, Cal, except for the turnovers. They got to do a better job taking care of the basketball.
All right, we'll come back with the second half as Cal's on the floor, getting ready to take on USC in the second half here at Haas Pavilion. It's the Trojans by 4 over California. Back with more after this. Berkeley, California. They're driving across the Bay Bridge earlier tonight to watch Cal and USC, and right now the Golden Bears trail USC by 4. And both teams with dramatic splits when leading at the break. Cal, you see their record at 3-9. All 3 of those victories have come in their last 3 games when they have trailed at the half, so they're playing much better.
Yeah, indicative of this team learning how to win basketball games, learning how to crank it up when it needs to be cranked up, and no one does it better than Alan Crabb, as I talked about in our halftime stand-up. You know, last time he played against USC, 27 points, 19 of those in the second half.
There he is. He has scored 16 or more points in the second half 7 times this year. Justin Cobbs will start in the backcourt with Allen and Tyrone Wallace. Meantime, Kravish and Solomon, who had huge games in their victory of UCLA.
You can see Krabs.
That is Kravish's shot right there, about 18 feet out.
But it's a Krabs issue. We put it on the floor, and Dwayne Dedmon did a nice job stepping up and thwarting any kind of penetration by Crabb. But a good job between the bigs, Solomon and Kravish, to make it happen.
Now USC on the other end. They have Gio Fontan in the backcourt with J.T. Terrell. Wallace with the personal foul. That is his first. And you also have Dedmon along with Wesley and Wise.
And right there, just Solomon making Dedmon pay for being the explosive leaper with the shot blocking mentality that he is. Just kind of a look at the basket and then a kick back out. And these 2 guys are just great production against UCLA.
Well, you think of the front line of Kravish, Solomon, and Robert Thurman off the bench. They hit 19 of their 24 shots, scored 41 points in crushing UCLA 76-63. Tonight, they are 6 for 8, so they're doing it with efficiency. They're not taking as many shots, though, but we still have almost 20 minutes to play.
And if the USC continues to run their bigs at Alan Crabb the way they're doing, that's another adjustment Mike Montgomery may go to, looking to get more scoring from their bigs on the high-low plays like we just saw that last possession.
Good defense by Cal.
Nice.
They get it down low, and there's Dedmon. Good defense for about 20 seconds, and then boom.
Well, that happens because Cal is so aggressive on that hedge on the ball screen to get it to Wise, who's an excellent passer. He's a guy that you want facilitating.
Well, that works. Yeah. Back door to Tyrone Wallace.
He's got to be more and more impressed with the passing of Richard Solomon out on the floor. Fed Kravish for the wide open jumper. That time, nice job. Little bounce pass on the back door.
Fontan with a splendid move down the right side of the lane. I watched that great game he had in the overtime loss to Arizona State when Gio had 25 points, including hitting 5 threes.
Career high for him, and that's when I knew that that leg was okay, that he was back, the rhythm was back, the timing was back.
Good recovery by USC. Fontan goes right side to Wesley, and Byron knocks down the 3.
And you know what made that play, Steve? Gio Fontan, I mean, I'm liking him more and more. The nuances of the game. He never looked to his right. He never looked at Byron Wesley. He looked left the entire time, which made Cal not even aware that Wesley was wide open on that right wing.
And that's the transition offense you were talking about at the start of the show. Wise moving over on Crabb. Cobbs wide open for the 3-point shot, but he'll miss short.
And they're playing off of Justin Cobbs. That shot has been there. I think for Cal to have some success in this game, he's got to be able to knock it down.
Wow. Wesley with back-to-back threes, and USC has their biggest lead of the night.
Byron Wesley, sophomore out of Etiwanda, California, the state player of the year as a high school senior. Mainly known for his aggressiveness, driving it to the hole, and his tough defense, showing a nice offensive touch from the outside.
Wallace tries to answer. USC, though, pulls it down. An 8-0 run for the Trojans. I thought they might go back to Byron Wesley, as hot as he's been. He's the most rested guy because he picked up those 2 early fouls in the first half.
Same spot both times, just spots up on that right wing at the three-point line. And again, that's something he has worked a lot on. You can tell by the rotation, by the release, and as confidently as he shot it. Wesley had a 20-point game recently, so his offensive contributions have picked up.
JT Terrell knocks it down left corner, and it's a 12-point Trojan lead.
What I love about JT Terrell as a shooter, he is so good at the mid-range game. A lot of shooters are just kind of either going all the way in for a dunk or three-point shots.
Cal takes timeout, and look at Mike Montgomery. He is furious.
He and Alan Crabb exchanging some words in the Cal huddle.
All USC as the Trojans looking for their 5th straight victory. Alan Crabb still up the tunnel. He is furious. When Mike Montgomery called the timeout, he was most angry with the junior who was all-conference last year. Gave him a little shove. Words were exchanged. Richard Solomon, Justin Cobb stepped in to try and calm things down, Marcus.
Yeah, and, you know, I understand Mike Montgomery, what he's trying to do. You know, he's trying to get Alan Crabb fired up and thought maybe, you know, giving him a little shove, a little push would help in that cause. But Alan Crabb really took exception to that. You could see him saying, you know, don't push me, and then Cobbs had to step in. Richard Solomon had to go chase him down. You've got an assistant coach talking to him.
More importantly, Marcus, you have a walk-on, Jeff Powers, a redshirt junior who does not have the offensive or defensive capabilities of Alan Crabb now on the floor. And Richard Solomon is going to now check in. And
Mike Montgomery putting Crabb right back in the game.
You know what? I like that.
You got to. You got to. Mike,
you talked about the emotion.
Yeah, and I know what Mike's trying to do, because, you know, Alan Crabb is a laid-back kind of a guy. He's from a real religious family and all that. And he went to the church that's named after his relations in Los Angeles. Went to the school that named after his relations, and I understand what Mike Montgomery's trying to do, get him fired up, but sometimes you got to be careful with that.
Travis gets it back and misses the shot. USC has a 12-point lead. Terrell for three.
JT Terrell, Trojans in transition, sprinting up the floor, spotting up, playing inspired basketball.
A 13-0 run for USC, and Cobbs goes in with the left hand. What a shot!
That's what it's going to take for Cal. They've got to get somebody to take the onus upon themselves, as Justin Cobbs did on that possession.
JT Terrell, who leads all Pac-12 players in conference games, hitting 2.5 threes per game, nails this one for the big lead. Pac-12 basketball is presented by MFS Investment Management, innovative solutions for investors and their professional advisors. Here in Berkeley, we had a heated moment between Coach Mike Montgomery and Alan Crabb. Crabb back on the floor, but this is the time. More than 15 minutes left, Marcus, and he has to bring his team back because he's the top scorer in this conference.
Yeah, he's got to pull it together. He and his coach got into it a little bit on the bench during the timeout. Mike Montgomery gave him a little shove. Alan Crabb didn't take kindly to it. Left the bench area. Came back in the ball game now. Now it's about regrouping, moving forward, leaving that stuff behind, and trying to lead your team to a victory under some very, very difficult circumstances.
I really admired the leadership displayed by Justin Cobbs, who seemed to calm his friend down and teammate.
Well, Richard Solomon also made a beeline, you know, just understanding the magnitude of what's happening. You just don't want him to shut it down and not come back on the floor.
Cal backing up, packing things in that paint. This is Terrell.
Good.
Misses the shot, and Crabb with the rebound.
Good defensive possessions. Cal going back to that zone. I thought the zone was you know, somewhat effective.
Richard Solomon fills it up. It's now a 10-point game. USC, their last miss was their first of the second half. They had made their first 6 shots.
It's almost like a make-or-break moment in the season for Cal if they can respond to this adversity, especially Alan Crabb, but mainly the rest of this team in a positive vein.
They are 15-9, mid-50s in the RPI. Eric Wise with the miss. Crabb gets it. Here comes Smith. Great bounce pass. Wow! A 7-0 Cal run.
And look at the body language, the facial expression of these Cal players on the floor. I mean, they've got determination just etched into their very beings.
Byron Wesley knocked away. Solomon with the block. Crabb on the drive. Short. And look at that tangle for it.
Yeah, I mean, the officials almost made more out of it than what was happening. I understand them rushing in, not wanting anything to come from it, but these players are cool. You see JT Terrell, Justin Cobbs hugging. Dedmon's just playing hard. Dedmon and Kravitz are cool. It's not a whole lot happening. The officials made more of that than what needs to be made of it. You know, it's a hard fall. Both guys kind of tangled and twisted down on the pile, but they're just two bigs playing hard.
Well, this is the kind of fight you wanted to see, and David with a big smile on his face. He's the sophomore from Lee's Summit North High School, just outside Kansas City on the Missouri side. And Mike Montgomery folding his arms. He has to be pleased. This is one of college basketball's great coaches.
Yeah, but see, Alan Crabb, his body language, I mean, he didn't even look at his coach as he walks by him in the huddle, hasn't made eye contact with him yet.
We did the game back in 2010 as you see Crabb going inside and the officials taking a look at the play to see who made the personal foul.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're looking to see if there was any reason to call anything other than was called.
But Marcus, you remember when history was made when Mike Montgomery, as their coach back in 2010, led California after coaching so many years at Stanford to their first conference title overall outright in 50 years.
Yeah, we were right here, confetti falling from the ceiling. Jorge Gutierrez, Harper Camp, that crew did a tremendous job for Mike Montgomery, who just turned things around here at Cal a lot quicker than anyone could have expected.
Well, USC went on a 13-0 run for a 15-point lead 2 minutes ago, and Cal responded with a 7-0 run of their own.
Yeah.
Well, the officials came to us and they said, no flagrant fouls, no cheap shots, so we're just going to play on. It's USC basketball.
Brett Manziel came over and said, just a lot of emotion. Yeah, you think? Mr. Understatement.
Gio Fontaine misses. Solomon rebounds. Bears on a roll. Cobbs with the pull-up. In and out. Wesley with a nice save along the sideline.
Yeah, this place would have erupted right there in terms of keeping the momentum going. But again, I just like the look of determination, Cal, that 1-2-2 zone. Talked about the adjustments, Steve, at halftime. That zone has caused some problems for USC.
And there's much better communication on defense by California.
Well, what it does, it keeps Gio Fontaine from just kind of running loosey-goosey all around screens and driving into the paint and causing problems with his penetration. You do a good job as a big of hedging on the screen. Now all of a sudden they're going high-low with Wise or Dedmon or one of the bigs.
Crabb short with the three. Travis tries to run it down, but picked off by Wesley. Fontaine had it stripped from behind by Cobbs. Will a foul be called? Yes, it will.
And you see Alan Crabb.
Not on Cobbs, on Crabb instead.
Crabb really fighting with himself. The official, Manziel talking to it. I like that. A good job, Manziel. He understands how high-strung Alan Crabb's emotions are right now. Crabb slapped at the basketball. Again, that could be a delay of game call for 2 free throws for USC because he's already got one. But Manziel just warned him, look, chill out, man. I don't want to call it against you, but you keep it up, you're going to have to.
And I beg your pardon, it was on Crabb. Cobbs was trailing the play. Wesley doesn't get the left-handed going. Krabs fighting for the rebound, almost throwing it away, and Cobbs tried to call a timeout, but they give the ball to USC.
Got to have 2 feet on the ground. Got to have both feet on the ground before you can make that timeout call. All right, got to give it to him. All right.
Well,
that's an NBA rule. NBA, they changed the rule. Jason Kidd, the flying timeout, you got to have 2 feet on the ground. College, you can still call it with the 1 foot on the ground. My bad.
47-39. USC still leading with 12.5 minutes left in this one. Fans, next Sunday, NASCAR returns to Fox with the 55th running of the Great American Race. It's the debut of the Gen 6 cars, the new cars that are putting the stock back into stock car racing that everyone is talking about. See the future of racing and the world's best drivers. The Daytona 500 next Sunday, February 24th, only on Fox. Well, Bob Cantu, what a job he has done. He's survived 4 coaching changes. He's the longest tenured assistant in the Pac-12. He survived Bibby, Jim Saya, Tim Floyd, Rick Majerus for the 4 days, and then Kevin O'Neill. And now he has really done a terrific job leading the Trojans to a 5-3 record in his 8 games.
Yeah, he's trying to survive Tommy Amaker and Steve Alford and Jamie Dixon. All these other names that have been bandied about.
Good point. Solomon well defended by Aaron Fuller, and Fuller kind of held on too long.
You know, Richard Solomon has broken through a plateau in his game. I mean, you know, he was, you know, just kind of back to the basket, jump shooter, fadeaway guy, not really anything going aggressive. But the last couple of games, he's really shown me a lot. I think he's really made a breakthrough as a player. Just understanding how hard you've got to play, how much intensity you've got to bring to the floor.
Cobbs looking low, gets it to Kravish, who fades. He's short. Important time in this game for both of these teams. We told you USC has won 4 in a row, including overtime at Pauley Pavilion versus UCLA, beating Washington, and most recently knocking off Stanford. Cal has won 4 of their last 5.
Talking about adjustments, this zone of Cal, USC 0 for 6 against the zone, and most of those misses have been contested shots like that one.
USC has missed their last 7 shots after making their first 6 shots since halftime. Well, California trying to roar back. They at one time were down by 15, but they put that chip on their shoulder. They set their stances, played defense, played with more passion, and cut it to 8. USC with a 47-39 lead over the California Golden Bears. Richard Solomon last year struggled on the floor in the classroom. Academics sent him down, but he has shown a great deal of leadership and maturity this season.
Yeah, he has, and this game has done a tremendous job of doing everything. Rebounding, blocking shots, passing the basketball, getting out and running the lane. Going in and calming his friend and former high school teammate down, Alan Crabb. They won a state championship at Bishop. At Price High School. He played at Bishop Montgomery with this young man, Justin Cobbs, the 3 years prior to transferring to Price High School for his senior year to get united with Alan Crabb.
Meantime, they allowed Cobbs to call the timeout. That's why it was California basketball, because he had a foot inbounds. And they said in control.
Yeah, as long as you're not falling out of bounds. And I made the mistake of saying you had to have 2 feet on the ground. I've been to a couple of years of referee seminars, and we just didn't cover that. We didn't cover that area, Steve.
Meantime, that last foul went against Byron Wesley, his 3rd. So Justin now part of a 9-0 Golden Bear run to get within 6 of the Trojans.
This is a small USC team on the floor. Wesley essentially playing the 5 spot. You got to be aware of Aaron Fuller right now in this lineup.
Well, he got too deep, and someone pushed him as he tried to do a reverse.
Got too deep and bailed out. You know, make him make that. That's an impossible shot to make, kind of reaching from underneath the backboard. So you don't want to bail him out. But this young man, the transfer from Iowa, honorable mention all Big Ten after averaging 10 points, about 7 rebounds a game before he transferred. He's a sneaky kind of a scorer. He's kind of offensive rebounds, mid-range to 5-foot to 8-foot jump shots. That's his game. And against this 1-2-2 zone defense of Cal's, he could find some open looks.
He was really USC's best player last year until that shoulder injury sidelined him.
Yep. Lefty had to play and shoot right-handed most of the season because of that torn labrum.
Cobbs with an opening.
Nice. And that's the worst defensive possession that USC has played this game. They are not, and again, because of the lack of size on the inside. No, you're so used to Dwayne Dedman cleaning that stuff up on the inside.
Bob Cantu, listening to you, has sent Dedman to the scorer's table. Byron Wesley with his third three-pointer. This is a guy who only hit one last year.
And that's, you know, one of those momentum-changing type jump shots with Cal's making a run. They're feeling good. They're playing well. You're having trouble scoring against the zone.
Cobbs answers.
He's picking it up.
He's got 15.
He's picking it up. I mean, you know, he understands that his boy Allen Crabbe is mentally right now not ready to kind of take over. So he's holding the fort down until he is. And if he doesn't show up, Cobbs will continue.
Byron Wesley's beginning to take over. This is a guy who played limited minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. He is playing with 3, but has been a huge reason for USC's 9-point edge.
Crabbe's got to keep shooting. That's the third jumper in a row he's missed. The first 2 were short. That one was in and out. So he's getting closer. He's got to keep shooting.
Drive and kick, drive and kick. That seems to be the Trojan game, only this time they throw it away. Trojans get back on defense. Bob Cantu just shouted out to Gio what he wanted him to switch to defensively. Crabbe to Kravish. Wesley not only doing on the offensive end, but the defensive end as well, as he's covering league's top scorer. Wallace missing. Fontaine almost knocked down. Crabbe with a great save. And Cobbs loses the ball, but they say it was last touched by USC.
That's where Justin Cobbs, again, he's trying to make things happen, so you can't fault him. But, you know, if he would have just kind of slowed down a little, you know, Crabbe is going to be the trailer. Allen Crabbe going to be the trailer on that play. Would have been a great opportunity to kick it back out to him for an open look.
Richard Solomon goes to the sideline. Back in big Robert Thurman.
Cobbs landed awkwardly when he came down and had to kind of take a seat and try and
So Brandon Smith comes in, not the offensive weapon like Justin Cobbs, but very good at leadership and running the offense. That's what they need.
Keep shooting it. Nice shot. That was the most difficult shot in the sequence that he's taken since he left the floor.
His first points of the second half, 11 for Crabbe, who's averaging close to 20. Wallace went behind when he had defensive help in the middle. Second foul. Talented future, a lefty who can play 3 positions, really the 1, 2, and 3.
All-time leading scorer in Bakersfield High School history, over 2,000 points, so you know he can put it up. Wow. E. Wise.
They're playing smart.
E. Wise, yeah. And You know, they've got just enough offensive firepower, especially with the way Byron Wesley is shooting it, so that you have to honor each and every one of those scores. There's about 3 good solid scores on the floor.
Alan Crabb has to go in and out, but freshman Wesley tried to pick him up, and then Travis grabs the miss, and he is fouled. Will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. We come to you from Berkeley, California on an absolutely gorgeous evening on the campus of the Golden Bears. Byron Wesley and J.T. Terrell have really led USC tonight in expanding this lead.
Wesley, nice job just finding the openings. J.T. Terrell, you know he's a devastating three-point shooter. Chase him off the three-point line. He's got the mid-range game, but this is what he loves to do. Get his feet set, great rotation, great form. J.T. Terrell's really benefited by the coaching change and the offensive infusion brought on by Bob Cantu.
You could see when he was taken out of the lineup by Kevin O'Neal, and then Bob put him back in. He's averaging over 13 points per game, and his minutes have doubled. And Wesley and Terrell had 11 of the 13 points in that 13-0 run that gave USC the lead they are nursing at this time. They have scored half of the team's points, 28 of their 56. Yeah, Justin Cobbs was banged up, and during that commercial break, he was bending his knees, testing it, and right now, the trainer is working on it to get him back on the floor.
Yeah, they're going to need him, Cal. The way he was playing, the aggressiveness, attacking the basket, trying to make things happen out on the floor, brings a different dynamic offensively than Brandon Smith, who is equal to Cobbs as a defensive player, maybe even superior. Looking at this deficit, 7-point deficit, you're going to need some buckets at the other end.
What a shot.
AT. Wow. I tell you, he was so loose during the warm-ups, just reciting the lyrics to every rap song played on the loudspeaker, smiling, laughing, jumping around.
I thought that was Sinatra. My bad. Alan Crabb tips it in with the left hand.
Good effort. Good effort. Sometimes it takes, it's a lucky play, but it's all about effort. The effort caused the luck.
13 for Crabb. Wise misses badly. That's not his shot. He's usually within 15. Wesley's defense has been outstanding on Allen. That's not the shot, Tyrone Wallace. That early in the shot clock, I don't think Mike Montgomery wanted that at all. But freshmen will take those occasionally.
Yeah, and he knocked down a couple against USC at the Galen Center. Wallace did to help Cal pull that game out. But that shot just absolutely devoid of any kind of rhythm in that context of which he just shot it.
Monty just sent Cubs back in the game, and you can see how he is limping around the floor. Number 1 at the top of the key. Keeps on bending it, moving it around, and this is Wesley with his 4th 3 of the game. Are you kidding me?
He's on one right now. Nice job, Wesley. Catches it. Not even a pass fake, kind of a little look off to get the defense to rotate. And then he buries the 3-point shot.
He only made 1 last year. He has already made 19 this season. Cobbs calls timeout. I don't think he can continue.
Yeah, he can't go. He's trying to get back out there and do something, but as you mentioned, he's dragging that leg around.
Let's take a look at the play that happened about 7 minutes ago when he hurt. Spun around and then ouch.
I mean, it's almost like an afterthought. After he plants and lands, and then kind of feels the pain or the burn or wherever the injury is, and then sits down to deal with it.
Wesley really extending his defense on Allen every time he touches the floor. And now he'll drive to the basket, try and kick it off. And they say last touch by USC. Crabb was bailed out.
Well, anytime he puts it on the floor, Crabb's going to draw a bevy of defensive players. And wow, that's, yeah, it looked like Eric Wise did get a fingertip on it at the very last moment.
Richard Solomon inside, loses the ball, picked up by Brandon Smith. And they say a personal foul is called against USC.
Again, Kevin O'Neal kind of laid the blueprint for what we're seeing defensively, and give Bob Cantu, Dieter Horton, his staff a lot of credit for the tweaks and changes. Tony Miller out of Marquette University, they've done a nice job. Kevin O'Neal used to stay with one defensive, shrink the floor kind of philosophy the whole game. They change coverages play by play depending on the situation.
So Bob Cantu, who is twice now replaced Kevin O'Neal. You might remember Kevin's suspension in the Pac-10 tournament a few seasons ago before it became the Pac-12, and he stepped in and
with Arizona
pulled the upset over Arizona. But the Wildcats prevailed.
First time in that head coaching hot seat.
Dedman almost lost it off his foot out of bounds, but saved it at the last moment. Now it's a steal by Smith. And Brandon will lay it up and in.
Joe Fontaine tried to grab him to prevent the layup, but just didn't do a good enough job. There was a little contact, but hey, that didn't warrant a whistle. Easy layup, great defense, Brandon Smith.
Cal within 7 at the 5-minute mark.
It's been a recurring kind of a theme in this game. In the second half, Cal has gotten to within 7, but USC has found a way to get a bucket in the situation, either Terrell or Wesley.
Wesley with only his second miss of a three-point attempt tonight. He's made 4, missed 2. This place might explode if somebody hits a big basket here for Cal. To close within 5 or 4. Smith running the offense.
Cal slow to kind of get into this set on this possession.
Crab.
Okay. Again, just a basic weave, dribble handoff action, little DHO at the top of the key. Wesley makes the mistake of sagging off of Allen Crab. Crab buries the 27-footer.
16 for the conference's leading scorer. Wise against Kravish.
This is where he's so tough.
Boy, he had that ball down, and somehow it bounced around and fell out, and a foul is called, and we've got a timeout on the floor. Allen Crab, who was furious minutes ago, hits a huge 3, and the Bears are coming back on the Trojans. That's a look at Allen Crab in one of his more peaceful moments, but at the 16:31 mark, when his team was really playing poorly, USC was leading by 12 points. Mike Montgomery called timeout, gave Crab a shove to try and get him fired up. His teammates moved Crab away, and he has played brilliantly since.
Given an all-out effort, and I think Mike Montgomery would be the first, I think, to say that was a mistake on his part, to put his hands on Allen Crab in that kind of a manner, that aggressively. But give a lot of credit first to Justin Cobb, Richard Solomon for diffusing the situation, Mike Montgomery for putting Allen Crab right back into the game once Allen Crab returned from the back area to the bench area, and then Allen Crab in particular for just really fighting through this whole thing. He missed a couple of wide open shots at 3 or 4 of those, and he just kept shooting, kept playing, and now the shots are falling for him.
If Cal wins, it will be a shove that was accepted.
It's gut check time for Allen Crab. And that's one of the things Mike Montgomery has talked about with me the last couple of years, just getting him to play tougher and bringing a tougher mindset to the floor. And that was Mike's way of trying to get that out of him. You may not agree with it, but that was the intention.
An 8-0 run by Cal. It's a 2-point game. They earlier trailed by as many as 15. Cal's last lead, Marcus, 15-13 midway through first half.
USC's been awful good in this situation, blowing leads but finding a way to still regroup. Not on that possession, though.
Smith ahead to Cobbs. How about this? Cal leads.
Cobbs on one leg.
The wounded warrior coming through. He could barely walk earlier. Comes back on the floor. His team down by 2. And this, Marcus.
I thought he was done for the game. After he tried to come back in, had to call the timeout to pull himself out, comes back down. His team in need of a shot in this situation, of making this situation. He has no hesitation. And talk about getting the place fired up.
The passion of college basketball, and we have it tonight at Newport Pavilion.
I mean, we've got all types of drama and storylines. The Montgomery Crab interaction, the way Byron Wesley has played and shot the basketball for USC, JT Terrell right there for USC, and his emancipation since Bob Cantu has taken over for Kevin O'Neal. This man here, Gio Fontaine, talking about coming back on one leg. He missed all of last season because of the ACL tear, bruised the knee against Stanford on Thursday night.
Kravish, long.
That's another one of those like the Tyrone Wallace shot. Way too early in the shot clock. You're open for a reason. Coach, I was open. Yeah, well, you're always going to be open.
Get it to 23 or 1.
Uh-oh, Gio's feeling it now.
Maybe long with the shot.
Maybe feeling a little too much. Goes through the legs about 4 or 5 times. No incorporation of his teammates whatsoever on that possession.
Crab gets it back, takes the shot, and nails the 3.
You need to push him more often. You need to shove him more often.
He has 19. And 10 of them in the last 8 minutes. A steal by Cal. Cobb says, let's slow it down. Get the instructions from Coach Montgomery.
You got to run a play for Alan Crabb. You got to get him going. Here's a little double screen action right there. There it is. You got to get it to Crabb, man. You got to run a play, a little staggered double screen. Bob Cantu has seen enough. Steve, I'm getting chills watching this because I thought mentally he might have been done, but right there, Crabb going left, quick release jumper. Here's the execution off the set play for him, a little stack double screen, stepping right into it, and it's just great to see a young man of his character show the ability to bounce back the way he has the last couple of minutes.
Utah tried the box and 1 on him. He scored over 20. Arizona sent everybody out. He scored 31 against the Wildcats, and they're a team that has 21 wins this year. But Crabb has, as you talked about, there are times where he will be a little passive. But since that shove, he has played with such passion.
Well, and he's played for tough coaches. I mean, his coach at Price High School, Michael Lynch, one of the best in California on the high school level, but he's a demanding coach. The USC kind of imploding. They're falling apart right here.
Cal on a 17-3 run, and Alan Crabb has hit 4 shots in a row.
Two guys for USC that have got to kind of settle this team down. One is Gio Fontaine, the other Eric Wise. Some ISO action with him near the free throw line when SC gets the ball back.
And if I'm Cal, I'm making sure 23 at least touches the basketball.
And Mike Montgomery is telling Justin Cobb that was a risky pass. It was deflected. Cal gets it back. But you don't cool off your hot player. You make the defense cool him off. Alan Crabb is on fire right now. Nice pass.
Now some doubt seeping into the faces of the USC Trojans, a team that's won 4 straight. California, meantime, has won 4 of their last 5, including knocking off number 10 Oregon, number 7 Arizona, and blasting UCLA on Thursday. And Wise just picked up his 5th foul, and USC loses a terrific Trojan. Aaron Fuller must help him out.
Yeah, that's a tough loss. See, Eric Wise is one of those glue guys. Tough-minded glue guys with the offensive skills to get you buckets in this kind of a situation. You ISO him near the free throw line, ISO him on the baseline, and he finds a way to get there.
Richard Solomon, a 64% foul shooter, misses the first. Still a 2-possession game with 94 seconds left. Makes 1 of 2. USC with 1 basket their last 5 minutes, and they've been outscored 18-3. Wesley tries to change that, does
Good defense. That's great defense by Alan Crabb. I thought he got a fingernail on the basketball, just enough to make it come up short.
Mike Montgomery saying, guys, get back. Set up the offense. Not done yet. Crabb is trying to set a pick and roll. This is Crabb, whips it inside, and it's out of bounds to the Trojans. 1 minute to play.
I thought a pretty good look on the part of Alan Crabb. Now they're saying the ball was deflected or Travis was fouled on the intent to receive the basketball. But here we go, DJ Fontaine. Got to be the guy. Here's a matchup he can use.
They've got a big on him, Richard Solomon. With the steal is fouled by Wesley.
Now there's no more intentional fouls in college basketball. It's a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. And a flagrant 1 would be, not a legitimate play on the ball, hold or push from behind. This is a definite hold from behind. It's got to be a flagrant 1. They're trying to take that language out of the game, intentional foul. But a flagrant 1 is still a hold or push from behind, and that fit the criteria.
Alan Crabb, an 83% foul shooter in his career. I didn't expect that as hot as he's been in the zone.
Yeah.
From the line tonight, and here's today's game summary presented by Dodge Dart. Crabb beginning to go off for California with 23 points. That's a game high. Terrell playing very well. This is Cobbs getting fouled, and USC not playing with the same kind of emotion. There's still 34.6 seconds left. Wilder things have happened, and California leading by 6.
Well, we had the clock issues that changed the momentum in USC's favor, and as you mentioned, that little interaction between Mike Montgomery and Alan Crabb, I thought changed the momentum right back into Cal's favor, based on the way that Cal, Alan Crabb, Justin Cobb, Richard Solomon, and Mike Montgomery handled the situation. Could have went the other way.
You look at Mike Montgomery on the sideline, and sometimes he could be in that movie Grumpy Old Man.
Yeah, he's a curmudgeon.
But I love him. And what a coach.
Yeah.
330 win seasons in his career, 20 win seasons. And what a marvelous job. I know it was an emotional time. He and Alan Crabb got into that exchange, but since that moment, trailing by 12 at 16:31 mark, it's been a totally different California team.
Mike demands the maximum effort. He doesn't settle for anything less. And again, you may not agree with the way he tried to get his point across, but the point was received.
He is an emotional guy, and his Bears played with a lot of emotion in the last 16 minutes of this one. This is our house, says Richard Solomon. And Alan Crabb says, peace be with you, brother. We're back together again. And here comes Gio Fontaine, and he's fouled by Brandon Smith. That should be a 3 shots.
Crab is like, turn the other cheek so I can smack that one too. It wasn't the textbook way of getting it done, but the toughness came out of Alan Crab.
That right. But since that incident, Cal is on a 40-2 run. 40-20, excuse me. 40-20 run. 3 shots for Gio. And Fontaine is a good foul shooter at 75%. He needs to make these next 2 to make it a 2-possession game. Next weekend, we've got Washington State against Arizona in the desert. Wildcats are tied with UCLA for second place, 1 game behind the Oregon Ducks. And Fontaine makes 2 of 3 foul shots. Now they'll need 2 3-pointers to tie.
And for USC, I mean, right now, still a winnable game. It's going to take a miracle, obviously, down 6, 2-possession game, 31 seconds left. But I just like the direction that Bob Cantu has this team headed. I mean, they didn't close the deal like they could have this evening, but there were extenuating circumstances. This Cal team played at an emotional level that I don't think they have reached under Mike Montgomery since he's been here.
And they do not have a deep team. I mean, they've got the 5 on the floor. They've got a couple of backups, and Robert Thurman, who is a former walk-on. Brandon Smith is back from the concussion. But they miss Ricky Krecklow, a guy who can fill it from outside, and that would have been a real weapon. But his foot injury has caused Mike Montgomery really to play with 7.
Krecklow, the 6'6" shooter, transferred from Missouri. I had a chance to do his game as a freshman against Oregon, and one of those guys who's springy, athletic, volleyball kid, but can just shoot the lights out. And you can imagine what dynamic that would add to this Cal lineup.
They have counted more on Cobbs and Crab, who have had to play 35-plus minutes in several games this year. And tonight, that duo has been pretty fantastic with 44 of the team's 73 points. Now 74 to make it 45 of that 74.
Dynamic duo back in the house. I mean, these two played so well together. Justin Cobbs, actually Pac-12 Player of the Week after an outstanding performance at a tournament down in Anaheim.
Fontaine with the drive, spins it high off the glass and kisses it home. Cobbs will bring it the other way, whips it to Solomon, who throws it down, and Newport's going crazy. Fontaine misses, and Cal just seconds away from their 16th win this year. They won 5 of their last 6, and they've done it in impressive fashion.
They had, indeed, and talk about overcoming adversity.
Cal had to do it with USC the way they played. Mike Montgomery's situation with Alan Crab, but they came out and did a tremendous job and showed a lot of character here the last 5 minutes of this basketball game.
4th straight comeback win when trailing at the half, and they were 0-9 prior to that as the Golden Bears closed the game on a 25-7 run the last 5.5 minutes. So they are now 8-5 and tied with Arizona State for 4th place in the Pac-12. Lockjam at the top with Oregon at 10-3. Arizona and UCLA 1 game back. Well, tonight's stars, J.T. Terrell had 17 for USC. Alan Crab, marvelous second half. He had not scored until the 16:30 mark of the second half, and then went crazy after he and Mike Montgomery, his coach, got into a bit of an exchange, and Crab took off after that with 14 of his 23 points. So the Golden Bears now 8-5 and 16 wins overall. Their RPI shoots up a little higher. Once again, the final score from Haas Pavilion. Golden Bears win at 76-68. You can catch more Pac-12 hoops on Fox Sports Networks next weekend. The action tips off Saturday, Washington State at Arizona. Then on Sunday, UCLA against USC. Now for Marcus Johnson and our entire crew, this is Steve Physiok saying so long from Berkeley, California. You've been watching Pac-12 basketball on Fox Sports Networks.